Hey, hey y'all. Trying to wait for some more people to get in here. Or feel free to send this to anybody. Actually, I should probably do that too. But I definitely want to talk about stocks and all that's going on with the stock market right now. For those of you who follow me, of course, you have been seeing me post a whole lot when it comes down to, the stocks. And so some of you understand the charts, some of you don't understand the charts when it comes down to the stock market. And so I can try to help you out a little bit. But hey, feel free to send this to whoever you want. They don't make a difference to me. I haven't gone live in a minute, and I feel like I need to. So yeah. Anyway, so I'll just start. The stock market, everything has been going well for me, at least when it comes down to the stock market, right? And so a lot of things that a lot of questions that people ask me is like, oh my God, Coco, I want to do this. I want to work for myself. I want to blah, 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 blah. What's up, Karan? I want to do all this. I want to do all that. I don't know where to start. I don't know this. I don't know that, right? And so you got to think about it like, you should never put all your eggs in one basket. So regardless of whatever it is that you're doing, of course, if you have a 9-to-5 job, like definitely work your 9-to-5 job, do whatever it is that you need to do on the side so that you can go ahead and give that attention to yourself or your business or what have you. So I definitely I'm all for people working their 9-to-5s as long as you have a plan for yourself. And realistically, honestly, everybody ain't made and ain't meant to be, entrepreneurs. So if that's what you do, by any means, I would never, ever, ever look down on somebody who has a 9-to-5. It is what it is. However, when it come down to your money and whatever it is that you're doing with your money, at the end of the day, you should be able to have your money work and make money for you. So those of you who do have 9-to-5 jobs and you have benefits like 401ks, or you got money that's going to a mutual fund or whatever it is that is going to monthly or quarterly or yearly, however it is that you have your finances and all that set up, make sure you're utilizing all of your resources, because this is the thing. For those of you who have a job with benefits, and when it comes down to the stock market, your money is already in the stock. Your money is already on the market. You just don't know what that money is doing. A lot of people came to terms with the stock market and how the market did whatever it did when it came down to the coronavirus. So think about it. The jobs that you have, if you have a 401k or any type of pension, any type of, what's that called, plan? Oh my God. Any type of retirement plan, your plan was affected. Not positively either. Definitely 100% negatively. So think about it. I know people who been working in the education system for 30 plus years, and they got all of this money, put up for retirement. But what happened to that money when Corona came? You don't know. But all of the money that you worked so hard for, it's no longer there. So you did all that for what? When you can go in your 401k and you can definitely go ahead and say, hey, I want to buy shares of Apple. I want to buy shares of Tesla. I want to buy shares of whatever it is. And there's no penalty. There's no fees that come along with that. But you have to educate yourself enough to know that you can go ahead and dip in your 401k and do that. Also, for those of you who don't have 401ks, which is totally fine, that's cool too. You have a regular savings account. I feel like everybody has a savings, but some people really don't, realistically, right? And so when it comes down to savings, your money is not really making money. How much money does your saved money make in the bank in a year? How many cents? Maybe 25 cents. When I look at welcome to Philadelphia. When I look into one of my savings accounts, it literally say, I don't know, 5 cents here, 18 cents there. Your money is not making money in a savings account. So What should you do with that savings? Coco, I want to invest. I want to get in the stock market. I want to do this. I want to do that. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. You definitely need to diversify your income, diversify your portfolio if I'm talking to people who's definitely in the stock market. So, of course, you never want to put all of your eggs in one basket. So when it comes down to your savings or your retirement plans or whatever type of plans that you have, you need to make sure that your money is in the right places. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be a billionaire to put money, up and to make sure that your family is good. Yes, you are better putting your money in stocks than it is in savings. Think about it. If everybody went to the bank right now to take their money out, you know how much people would not be able to get money? Because all the bank do is throw your money around and give it to other people anyway. That's why you only get a quarter a year. But when it comes down to stocks, specifically, I'm not giving y'all all of the ones that I was investing in and all that. I give y'all free game all the time. A lot of people are winning, which is amazing, like super, super dope. I was supposed to start this investment group not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago actually, and I got sidetracked. So I'm definitely going to put, that stock investment group together. All the information to go out about that. On top of that part, when it come down, absolutely, yeah. Like, that's the thing. I put $69, between $65 and $69 in a Ross a couple weeks back when I first started. Well, I can't say couple weeks, but a couple months back now when I first started trading. And from that $65 or $69 that I put in, I walked away with $895. From literally just, I'm going to put let's just say it was $69. I know it was $65 or $69. I walked away with $895. I put $1,280 in, so $1,280 in, and I think I'm at $5,450 something dollars. I posted that today though. Then it's another company that I posted yesterday, and I bought 187 shares in that particular company. And so the highest that company has ever been per share was $120. So you do 120 by 187, that's $22,000. That's it. And then I was like, all right, it's so cheap. And then it went down some more. So when I bought the stock, it was $1.22. Then yesterday when I bought it, it was $1.17, I think. And so a lot of people are like, some people send me messages like, well, do you think it's going to really go back up? Do you think this? Do you think that? Blah, 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 blah. You know how many companies was down? Like, down bad. Like, really, really down. To cents, and they're up now. Or vice versa. Or the pyramid has switched. One thing I'll tell you about stocks is that the stock market will always, always go up and down. Point blank period. That's just what it's going to do. And when I'm posting, so some people day trade, right? So that means that they trade daily, every single day, or a couple days out the week. I don't necessarily day trade. Day trading is, of course, 100% more risky than trading options. So when I trade options, I literally have, I always try to make sure I buy the longest contract. So what that means is that I can definitely buy a contract that's going in 2-3 days, 4 or 5 days, or what have you. I always do ones which mine's cost a little bit more expensive, because I do contracts that end in 2-3 years from now. So I got years, to watch my money grow. And so I don't have a problem putting up $1,200, putting up $1,500, $1,700, or I don't know, $69 or something like that, and just watching it grow. So that's the other thing. Like, if I needed that $5,000 that I came up today, I can go ahead and cash that out, right? Because it's already there. It's mine. It's my money. And what people don't understand is that the stock market is legal gambling. Point blank period. Think about it. If you are a person who placed the bets with the sports teams and whatever else, all that good stuff, you're doing the same exact thing. But actually what you're doing is more riskier than what I'm doing. I always try to push multiple investments on lots of people. Like, look, if you're going to be out here talking about, look, I want to make money in my sleep, I want to do this, I want to do that, it's nothing wrong with educating yourself. A lot of this information is on social media. If you just scrolling on Twitter or scrolling on Instagram or whatever, it's all there. It's all there. You just gotta want it for real, for real. And these companies is not hard. I had somebody ask me like, well, how do you think about the companies that you should be investing in? Well, think about what people need and what people will always need. People will always need gas in a car, gasoline to go in a house. You always need that, right? You will always need cosmetics, so toiletries, stuff like that. If you are a person who, I don't know, like this one company I'm invested in, I had joined their live calls. And that's the other thing too. As an investor, like you can join their live calls. You can ask them whatever questions you want to ask them, because you own parts of the business too. You might not own as much as they own, but you own parts in the business and you do have a say so. So this one particular company, they coming out with some medicine for people who struggle with epilepsy, or they're epileptic. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but so they struggle with that. And I was like, oh wow, like this is super, super dope. And then I started looking in, and I just started doing more research about all the people in the world and how many people have this, and what this medicine is supposed to do to help and assist those people. Just stuff like that. Like, I'm not an epileptic. I do know people who are. You gotta also think about stuff like this too. A lot of people have asthma. What is the company? What company are those people? What company makes asthma pumps, or what company produces the albuterol or the nebulizer? It's really not hard. You really just got to open your mind. Think about the things that you would use absolutely every single day. So batteries, companies that make the batteries. You're always going to need a battery, a car battery, a battery for your remote. Like, these are the things that you have to think about when you are thinking about investing. And I'm telling you all these things because these are safer ways to go. There's definitely safer ways to go about it when it comes down to it. One thing that's super duper risky is retail, right? So if you're like, oh my God, I don't know, I love H&M. I wouldn't be the person that's crazy to tell you. I would never say, oh, you should dump your money in H&M. I would never say that. So you have to be careful about retail. But let me tell you this. When PUA and the government was giving out all this money, or whatever the case may be, one retail company that I should have invested in was Christian Dior. Between the months of April and June, I would have made so much money off of Christian Dior, because everybody got money, and guess what they did? They started buying it all up. Now, Christian Dior shares are everything. It's crazy when it comes down to this, but every single company, I swear, especially when it comes down to retail, their clothes are more expensive than the actual shares and stocks in the business. So Christian Dior has literally, their shares was like maybe $50, maybe $100, and then they went up to like $300. I was like, what the hell? Like, why was I not thinking about that? You know, I couldn't wait. I know that I loved Ross, so that was the only retail company that I really would go ahead and like risk my money with, because I know Ross was closed. I know a lot of people was waiting for Ross to open, and a lot of people like really, really love Ross. So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't mind, dumping this money in here. Now, I'm not saying that you should ride that wave for forever, but when it come down to stocks, try to stay as much as possible away from retail stocks. But when it come down to retail, of course, like clothing, places that sell shoes and sneakers, try to stay away from that. But always healthcare, always things that you're using, whoever make tissue, whoever make batteries, whoever make medicine, stuff like that, you're going to need that. I wouldn't necessarily care about makeup or nothing like that. If there's certain companies that, since like, it's sad to say, but since like veneers and plastic surgery and stuff like that is a thing, find out the tools that they're using. Like, what tools do plastic surgeons or any type of doctors use? Where do they get those tools from? Ventilators was another thing. Who's making the ventilators? Where are those? Corona is still here. Who's making the ventilators? That's the same thing. It's sad to say, but the death rate is up. Like, and the homicide rate, it is through the roof. It is crazy, right? So think about Walmart. They have caskets. All these different companies have all of these things that people use and need on a daily basis. Now, that's a sad situation, but it's the reality, right? So who makes metal? What companies make the metal and the lead and all that go into bullets and guns and stuff like that, right? If like I posted about the cannabis, and so Kamala and Joe Biden said they're gonna do all this stuff with weed and decriminalize it and whatever, and blah blah blah. When you hear politicians talk about companies, you better know that those stocks are going to go through the roof, right? Because that's the rumor. That's just a rumor. Neither one of them is president and or vice president just yet. So that's just a rumor. And so you always jump in and you sell on the news. So when I'm telling you jump in, you jump in low. So when the stocks is down, that's when you're supposed to jump in. When it's red, that's when you're supposed to buy. You're not buying, don't buy no stocks when it's green. It depends on what company it is. But you shouldn't be like, oh my God, look, it's up right now, so it's going to stay up. No, your best bet is to sometimes wait for that stock to go down. Wait for it to go down. When everybody was so hype about Tesla, oh my God, I was excited too. Because I have a plan and I'm strategic with it. So cool, I'm excited too, but I know for sure in a couple days, guess what? That Tesla stock gonna drop. It's not gonna stay up that long. And what did it do? It dropped and people were like, oh my God, I'm losing my money and blah, 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 blah. That's it. Get in and get out. You get in and you get out with certain companies. Unless you're doing long-term investments like myself. So again, my contracts don't end until 2-3 years from now. Like literally 2023 is the longest contract that I can do with the companies that I'm investing in right now. And so I always do that, and I always try to buy the cheapest call. Not the cheapest call, the lowest call, which is typically the most amount of money. You don't lose money until you sell. Yeah. So the thing is, this is the thing. When it comes down to when you know when to get out, you got to stay informed, right? And so think about it. These companies are working for you. For real. Like, you invested in a company, you own some of that company, and that company is pretty much working for you. So as the CEO, whatever you want to call yourself, the investor, cool. Do your research on the back end. See what's going on with that company. Because Robinhood ain't just going to be like, hey, this is what's about to happen tomorrow. Or I think it was Kodak. Something happened with Kodak and the CEO. Hey, something happened with Kodak and the CEO was about to get indicted or something like that. I don't know. So when that happened with Kodak, the stock dropped. But then guess what? They found him. He was not guilty, whatever, and it shot right back up. So my thing is like, of course, when you hearing about people like, oh, I'm about to buy Apple, I'm about to buy this, and you know, like, an Apple phone is coming out, and you looking like, damn, but this Apple stock low, like, it's in a red. It was $150 or $130. Now it's at $107, or now it's at $99. That's when you need to get in. When it's in a red, that's when you need to jump in. Don't be so excited to jump into stocks when it's green. The whole point is so that you can make some money. And buying regular shares is different. It's totally different than you buying a contract so that you can trade. It's the research thing. You do once you do it, you'll know. Exactly. So literally, once you start doing your research, you'll know when to jump out. So what happened? When Donald Trump had their presidential speech, debate, whatever, he said something about, Corona. He was like, yeah, Pfizer is working on this and Pfizer is working on that. That's the company that I'm invested in. Johnson & Johnson is supposed to be working on a test for a Corona vaccine as well. So when people are saying these things, like, but you also got to already know a little bit, because as the second that they say that, literally the speeches and debates is at night. The market closed at 4:30. So of course, if you go ahead and try to purchase you some shares, that sale is not going to go through until the next day. And it might not be the same price that it was the night that you tried to buy it. It just depends. And when it shoot up like super duper crazy, what they typically do, they don't sell it to you. They literally want you to go ahead and put in another play so that you can, spend more money with them, because of course they making money off your money too. But you really got to do your research. Don't be afraid to put that money up either. Scared money don't make money. Especially, you got to think about it like this. With the money that you use to go out to eat, think about how much money you spend going out to eat. Got hair in my mouth. Think about how much money you spend going out to eat, or just, I don't know, spending money in gas doing nothing. You could be doing something with that money. I'm telling you, those shares was $1.22. I probably spent $20 more yesterday, and now I have 204 of those shares. And so it's not expensive. A lot of people think that you can, and that's the other thing too. Like, I want to own an Amazon share, but guess what? I'm not giving $3,000 to Amazon. I'm just not. So it's something called fractional shares. So if I want to put $100 into Amazon, I still own part of Amazon. It's not one full share, but it's pieces of the company. And that's called fractional shares. You can invest with as little as $1 and still come out on top. I got contracts that I paid just a couple days ago. I think they were $68 right now. I paid $70. I got 2, so that's $140. And so I have from now all the way to 2023 for that to make money. You always want to do long-term investments. I would suggest, a lot of people want fast money that they can get ASAP. That's cool too. Of course, it's more riskier. If I need the money, can I go and get it? Absolutely. All it is a press of a button, and that money is going to be deposited right in that account. If y'all have any questions regarding stocks, shares, what do I suggest? Feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. I always want to help people as much as I can, for real, because the sad part about it is, and the disconnect is the lack of education. And when I say the lack of education, is not, degrees have nothing to do with it, right? Some of us are just lazy. Some of us just really don't know. Some of us are not around the right people too. It has nothing to do with how many times you've been to school, how many years it don't have nothing to do with that. Right? But when you don't know your rights, you also don't have any. And when you're not around people who think like this, or who think about, or want to worry about, the future and all of that, like, I'd be damned if I'm working when I'm 35 and I'm only 27, it's because I want to. Definitely not because I have to work. Like, the goal should be multiple streams of income, regardless if you have a 9 to 5 or not. Regardless if you have a 9 to 5, it don't matter, right? Now, since I'm in a position, and I'm always super humble. Like, I don't think I'm rich or anything, but I couldn't, now where I'm at, I couldn't imagine. I'm like, damn, like, just a couple months ago, I literally only had one income, like, just one. That's not okay. People can't live off of one income. I don't care who you are. It's not enough. It's absolutely not enough. And so, yeah, I was putting money up. I was doing this. I was doing that. I'm like, all right, cool. But this ain't like, all right, where you going to get with that? People, they making sure that they have more than one income. And you have to do the same thing. It's important. It's super duper important. I actually want to go live with one of my friends. He is doing the damn thing when it come down to stocks too. Like, he's really, really good when it come down to the stocks. I actually should tell him to get on here. But yeah, but the other thing too is that a lot of us don't want to pay for education either. Like, a lot of us feel like, damn, I should just get it. And it don't work like that. Yeah. Oh, I didn't call the wrong number. I'm back, y'all. My bad. But yeah, so just make sure whatever it is that you do, whatever stocks you are thinking about investing in, make sure you do your research about those. Make sure you are thinking about what's really going on in the world right now. Hello? I'm in front of my door. Where you at? Well, what's going on? And I'm on live, so I'm gonna call you back. I thought it was something. She should be coming here. All right, I'm about to call. All right. But yeah, absolutely. So the thing is, please make sure that you do your research when it comes down to stocks. I love Robinhood. I think it's easy. When I teach people from that platform. However, there are so many different platforms. You got E-Trade, just Acorn, so many. I do think Robinhood is the most simplest form for me. That is the platform that I use when I teach, because like I just said, I think the platform is really clear, it's clean, it's not a whole bunch of stuff just all over the place. Because E-Trade is not really easy to read. I don't care who you ask, it was not easy to read to me. But yeah, so I do appreciate y'all for joining, hopping in. I don't know, I feel like I said everything I needed to say, but I know some people just joined. But we were talking about stocks and investments and what you should be looking for when you're investing in stocks or when you're thinking about those stocks. If you have any questions, feel free, type them in the chat. I don't know how I'm talking about, type them in the chat. I was on Zoom today. Hey, well, I'm on Zoom every day teaching the kids. Sign up for sure. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we are our own worst enemy when it comes to a lot of things. When it comes to a whole lot of things. Talking about investment group tomorrow. Real rap. So this is the thing. This is what's going on with the investment group. Let me be 100% honest with y'all. So with the investment group, right? I have to put together, I have a lawyer, all that good stuff. I want to put together a contract, right? And so with this contract, I want whoever it is, everything that you need to know about this investment group will be in there. In addition to, I want anybody who wants to join to get their paperwork notarized, sending over a copy of your photo ID, all that. And so the reason why I'm doing it this way is because documentation beats conversation. That documentation will protect you. That documentation will also protect me. I'm not the person who's super duper hype and excited to play with somebody else's money. That's just not me. I could care less. I would much rather lose my own thousands of dollars versus losing yours or somebody else. So again, that's the only holdup. That is the only holdup with that. I've been having so much going on with, my own business, just work, life, all that good stuff. So that's the thing. I'm going to get this contract together, though. I am going to get this contract together, and I'm going to get it out to y'all, because it is a lot of people who, they would much rather just, instead of learn themselves, which I understand that too, they would much rather just be like, I trust you, you know what you're doing, you're making money on this, I see that. Then, I get it. Feel free to not purchase the class and just say, hey, Coco, can you invest my money? And I'm going to get this back in whatever day, blah, blah, blah. So, honestly, I'm going to try. What's today? Today is Thursday. Yeah, hopefully I can get this done by Monday. Hopefully I can get this done by Monday. I'm getting ready to go to Africa for 2 whole weeks. Like, I'm hyped. I'm excited. So I probably got like 4 trips in the next. I'm going to be finished my 30 by 30. I'm at 26 countries. I got 4 countries left. But I'm going to be done my 4 countries by January. So I'm hyped up about that. At the same time, and that's the other thing too. When you start making money with the stock market, doing all that, like, I don't be worried about nothing for real. I swear to God, it's like, okay, that's going to take care of that bill. That's going to do this, that's going to do that. The one when I had met this guy, he was like, yeah, one of his professors told him that he should have a source of income for every bill that he had. I'm like, damn, like, I start counting, like, do the water bill, do the electric bill, gas, do that all count? And so that's the goal. Like, at least that's the goal for me. Think about it. If I have 11 bills that I need to pay, I need 11 sources of income. Like, that's it. That one thing is not enough for me anymore now, since I'm in the position that I'm in now. And for real, everything that I get from the stock market, I literally just throw it back in. I throw it back in. So all of my wins, I just throw it back in. I act like I never even won $5,000, or I never even won, because I typically make at minimum $2,000 a week. My job don't pay me that. My job do not pay me that. So if you, and this is not, no shade, no cap, no whatever to Forex. I don't know nothing about Forex. I don't know how to trade Forex. That's not what I do. I don't know anything about the foreign exchange currency. I just know this is foreign exchange. That's it. But yeah. So the goal is achievable, right? And you can do it with as little as $1. You ain't got to put thousands of dollars in there. And when you get there, you're going to be super duper excited. Can you start what tomorrow? What can you start tomorrow? The investment group is not ready. Like, I don't have the contract for the investment group, but I don't know what you're asking about starting tomorrow. I just received a list too for Baltimore. Another list for properties. And I actually need to go down there because the listing that they sent me, it's a good list. It's a whole bunch of houses. It's probably about 13,000. I don't want to say it's more than 13,000 properties on that list. And some of them was like $317, $520. Of course, you got ones that's up there for like 10, 15,000. You got some that's up there for 50,000. And so this list is totally different. I tell y'all one thing about me. I feel like once I get educated on one thing, I start digging deep. Like, I need to figure out what's next. How do I do this? How do I do that? Excuse me, I keep burping. I buy and trade on Robinhood. I can send you a link for Robinhood too if anybody want a link for Robinhood. I can send you, if you already don't have a Robinhood account, I can send you a link for that, and you can go ahead and start, doing your thing. It's going to say, hey, K Kern, something is going to say about me and you. But I could definitely send that link out if that's what you're interested in and you already don't have Robinhood. I can send that to you. That's not, anything. But again, make sure that you are investing in the right things, right? Because when you do that, it's less risky. Try to stay away from retail unless you know that something is about to happen with this company. I would stay away from clothing stores. I can't wait for you to sign up for my class either. I know a lot of people say, where to start? I promise you, it's so many stock market classes out there, and for real, they don't be real beginners classes. They really don't be beginner classes. Like, you have to already know some things before you get in that class. It's not like that with mine. And of course, I'm not the person that's just gonna say that. Like, it's legit people who knew absolutely nothing, and now they're like, oh my god, I get it. I know how to read the charts. I know what this means. I know what that means. And you can definitely go ahead and start, doing your thing. So could you please send a link to me as well where I can sign up for? Oh yeah, so the link to sign up for the class though is what's that called? That's in my bio, and it'll say stock market options trading course. But yeah, see, and that's the thing. If you said you made out of Nike, which is good. You gotta think about, that's another company. So you gotta think about it like this. Nike and Adidas or whoever, think about, it's football season is back. Basketball, all these things is back. So if you jumped into Nike right before football season and what's that, all these, I don't know, athletes or whatever, you jumped in, then you definitely was making money off Nike, because they got to get those cleats. They got to get all those things. Where do they come from? Nike. Think about it. Whenever you think about the playoffs for anything, what's that man name? One of them football players, he had, because I seen his ad on Twitter, and he was eating Frito-Lay chips and all that. Whenever sports teams or something is about to happen big with sports, y'all need to be investing in chip companies and all of that, because that's the whole thing. Pepsi, Cola, they do all types of promo. But you need to get in when it's bad. The best time to get in on any stock is get in when it's low. Get in when a company ain't doing good. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. When companies are up and they're doing good, it's something called puts. So you can go ahead and be like, you can make money off a company going down. So if you are like, I don't know, a lot of people just be hype over Apple and Tesla stocks. So I'm going to just keep using Apple and Tesla as the situation, right? So cool. You like, Tesla is up, oh my God, people winning, blah, 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 blah. I bet you make money. When you literally put in a put that Tesla is gonna go down, you're gonna make money. Because no stock stays up forever. The name of it's the stock market. It's always up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you went ahead and made a bet, because that's what I call it. I say, like, if you bet that Tesla is going to go down from $447 to $380 or to $415, you're going to make money. A call is to bet that that the stock is going to go up and increase in value. A put is placing a bet that the stock is going to go down and decrease in value. I honestly bought Nike because I wear it and I wanted to feel like I was paying myself. That's another thing too. Look, I'm all down for that. Anything that I use, and I said that before, whatever it is that I buy, I should own. So if I'm wearing Nikes, I need to go ahead and have some Nike shares. When I was buying them Ross stocks and going up, getting all this money, I was telling everybody, go to Ross. Girl, they got that at Ross. Whole time, I need you to go to Ross and spend that money so that money can come to me. Like, what? Yeah, you can do all of that in Robinhood. Yep. But the other thing is different settings that you have to change in Robinhood too. Like, you can't just get on there and start trading. It's settings that you have to change in order for you to get that. So if you don't have a certain kind of account, then you wouldn't be able to trade. You would literally just be able to buy shares and sell them. That's it. But yeah, so think about this too, right? When Corona was all, everybody's wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. You know how many people got dry hands now? Just dry skin. You better go ahead and invest in that Aquaphor. If you want to do Johnson & Johnson, do Johnson & Johnson. Even though a lot of people say like, oh, Johnson & Johnson had some cancer or whatever it is. I don't wear Johnson & Johnson, so I don't own anything in Johnson & Johnson. But whatever it is that you wear, whatever it is that you use, whatever it is that people need, you need to go ahead and invest in that. What? This your first time hearing about puts, girl? Yes. Yes, just as much as you can bet that a company stock is going to rise, you can definitely bet that it's going to go down. So whenever the stocks is up, that's when you need to bet that it's going to go down, because it ain't going to stay up forever. But you also gotta you also buy what they say. They say buy on the rumors. Yep, buy in, jump in on the rumors and sell on the news. You good? Yeah. All right. That's one of my students. Buy on the rumors and you sell on the news. So when Tesla had battery day, everybody was like, oh my God, battery day tomorrow. You buying some stock? Are you buying Tesla? Are you buying Tesla? Girl, it's too late. It's too late to be buying Tesla. Battery day is already gone. So you sell on the news. And this is the thing. A lot of people were so excited. Yeah, battery day coming, battery day coming. What happened when battery day came? The stock dropped. Because those batteries wasn't functioning the way it was. Whatever it is that the batteries are supposed to do, it wasn't functioning. This needs to be a podcast. Listening while driving. No, for real. And that's the thing, y'all. I swear to God, I be having 15 different things going on. I bought the kit for the podcast in like April. I think April. And I don't know. It's just sitting in the house. Just sitting in a box. I got to get my life together. I be doing too much stuff. Too much. I'm always trying to find a way to do something else to keep me busy. But that keeping busy for real is not always good. It's not always healthy either. I keep busy for real to not think about, I don't know, reality for sometimes. And that's the sad part. Ain't nothing bad going on. Ain't nothing bad going on, but I don't know. Traumatic experiences. You need some help. I do need help too. Like, that's the thing. And the sad part about it is I literally just be in my head like, you already know that saying. If you want it done right, you gotta do it yourself. You want it done right, you gotta do it yourself. You want it done right, you gotta do it yourself. Sometimes I don't be having time to literally, like, I don't know, break down everything. It's so much. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there because at this for real, I don't have a choice but to get there. I won't be, fulfilling the needs that for myself. And it stunts your growth too. You should definitely be investing in Baltimore. Everybody should invest in Baltimore. And I'm not just saying that Baltimore is the next Philly. Baltimore is like the little cousin or the little brother to Philly. So many things that's going on. In one of my zip codes, they just built an apartment complex or condominiums smack there in the middle of the hood. That's what they do everywhere, right? And so a lot of people, when they go to Baltimore, they be like, oh my God, it's so poor. All these people on drugs. Well, for those of you who do not know, Baltimore is a hospital city. It's a hospital city. There's literally a hospital within every 10, 15 blocks. Like with the full ER, all of that good stuff. So where do you think the drugs is coming from? The hospitals. These people ain't just out here all strung out with needles and all that. No, that is coming from somewhere. It's a business. And then John Hopkins start trying to buy up all in their area, right? So John Hopkins was coming through heavy, trying to buy up. And then what happened? Some of the community members is like, no, like, we can't let this happen. Like, y'all already built up so much and own so much. That's just like here in Philly. Temple own North Philly, for real. Own North Philly. Everything in North Philly, I'll say 80% of what's in North Philly is Temple. And they in other areas too. But Temple own North Philly. John Hopkins trying to do the same thing. It's so many hospitals down there though. So many hospitals. And I'm only saying John Hopkins because that's a big name that you might know of without having to go to Baltimore. But yeah, it's crazy the things that's going on down there. And for real, a lot of people are like, well, if I buy this property or if I do this, if I do that, is the money there? Is the return there? Is the this? Is it that? Yes, it is. You can still rent in Baltimore, rent out your property as rooms or rent out your property as a condo, duplex, whatever it is you want to do. It don't matter. Regular house, and still walk away with $1,500. It's there. Absolutely. University, yes. These hospitals here in Philly, y'all already know what they doing. Hanneman, right there on Broad and Vine. That's what I heard. That's supposed to be condos. Remove the whole hospital to make apartments. Somebody always gonna need a place to live. So if you have $5,000, go buy in Baltimore. You ain't getting no house in Philly for $5,000 unless it's an off-market deal or something like that. I don't know. Somebody just like, look, let me try to get rid of this property, or they in debt. I don't know. The sheriff or somebody's about to come take their house. And they literally like, look, I would much rather not walk away with debt, and I would much rather walk away with some type of money. So let me go ahead and sell this property, get whatever it is that I can get for it. It'll clear up my debt and get this from out of my name. That's the only way you get in something here in Philly. Or unless you stealing the property, because that happens too. A lot of these people are stealing properties all over the world. They ain't doing nothing but changing the name on the deed. So be careful. Be careful. Be careful about people that's selling properties and all that. Just because you went to a title company and you sat down and it was in an office, that don't mean nothing. That means absolutely nothing. And sometimes you don't find out that property is stolen until you go to sell it. I'm telling you. The world it's a crazy situation out here. Crazy situation. Yeah, you can still find properties for $1,000. I'm sorry, for $5,000 in Baltimore. I said 1,000 because there was a property on an auction for $1,000, and I put up a video of that property too. I didn't go. Well, you can't go inside, but it still had everything, all of the bones, all of the everything, the brick, the roof, everything. But I also tell people too. Some people be like, "Oh my God, this property is a mess." Like, what you think you getting for $5,000? What? Your mind should be that you are going to literally, oh, for real, in my mind, I'm like, if there's a property that I'm purchasing, even if I'm purchasing this property for $10,000, I need to have in my mind that I'm going to do a full renovation, full rehab. There's no reason that you should be thinking you're going to buy something for $10,000 and you're going to be able to throw somebody in there. Are you sick? Like, what? You're going to need new floors. Like, and I'm not saying that there aren't properties that you can't come up on like that, because you definitely can come up on a lot of properties like that. You can. And I'm gonna tell you, it's ways to do that too if they are foreclosure. So somebody just asked me, is there still properties for $5,000 in Baltimore? Yeah, there's properties. Oh, that's a mosquito. $5,000 in Baltimore, but at the same time, if you get a foreclosed property, you can get a property. I didn't mean to say foreclosed. If you get something with a lien on there, you can get it depending on how much the lien is. If the lien is $200, if the lien is $500, if the lien is $1,000, all you got to do is pay that lien. You pay that lien, you wait past the redemption period, and then guess what happened? Boom. If they don't redeem the property, it's yours. Even if they do redeem the property, this is the thing. You will still never lose. So let's say I paid, let's say I bought a tax lien certificate for, what is that? I don't know, $200, right? So I paid off somebody's lien for $200. Cool. Now, these people got 3 months to pay it back. Now, this month, they don't pay me. I don't pay them. The money goes straight to the state. So then they go ahead and pay the state $200 plus interest and whatever else. You're going to walk away with your $200 plus interest. So I also like to look at tax liens and stuff like that as another type of investment. Either way, you're going to walk away with more than what you put down or an actual property. So think about it. If you're like, damn, I missed out on my $300, but you have a house. You didn't miss out on $300. You have a house. I need a partner. Can rehab with little to no money. So you can rehab with little to no money. It depends on the condition that the property is in, though, and whoever your contractors are, right? So some people be like, oh, you know, and this is one thing I don't like, but I do understand why people do this, because of course it brings them to sell. So when you have wholesalers or anybody, any type of investors, and they're like, this property is $10,000, and what they say, this property is $10,000. All you got to do is put $30,000 or $20,000 in here, and it's going to be good, up and running. It's going to make you, I don't know, you put $10,000 or I don't know, $20,000 in here. After repair value, the ARV going to be $100,000. You going to be able to sell it. So bro, how are you coming up with rehab numbers? You don't know the material that people are using to put in this house. You don't know what contractor they're using, how much the contractor is going to cost them. You don't know. You don't know what they're putting in here. If they put in laminate in here versus granite. What kind of floors are they going to put down? Are they going to go ahead and put down carpet? Like, what kind of, I don't know, how much did a water heater cost? Do it need a sump pump? Like, all these things. So when people start throwing out numbers, I'm just like, just tell me how much the property costs. You can keep how much it's going to be to rehab this property, because where are you getting these numbers from? Are you saving this live? It keeps pausing and kicking me out. I'm so sorry. I can try to put it on my YouTube or something, or on my little HD TV thing. How do you sign up for the options course? So you sign up for the option course. If you literally click the link in my bio, let me see this other phone. If you click the link in my bio, it's going to say, you are going to see So you are going to see stock market options trading course. So you just click that and it'll take you straight to it. Or you can click all services and it'll take you to everything there. But yeah. So at this moment, oh wait, signing up for the option corner. How you feel about? All right, I'll answer your question too. So Anita, wholesaling. So this is my thing when it come down to wholesaling. I don't have a problem with wholesalers at all. I think wholesalers do a good job at what they do. All a wholesaler is for real, is a real estate agent without a real estate license. That is it. That's all. The only thing a wholesaler is. They do absolutely everything that real estate agents do except for have the license. And it depends on the state that you're wholesaling in, because you can't wholesale in every state without a license. So in Pennsylvania, you can wholesale, you can do how many sales you want without a license. In Maryland, you can do the same thing too. But in other states, it just depends. Some states you can only do one wholesale deal without a license, and then in order for you to continue, you have to go ahead and get licensed. But I don't have a problem with wholesalers at all. I feel like those people, they work hard, they grind hard. I have great relationships with a lot of wholesalers. Part of my introduction to the investment side was through this one company I started working with. And they was trying to get me. They was trying to get me good. They was trying to make me pay thousands of dollars for them to teach me how to wholesale. And then once I start thinking about it, I'm just like, hold up. Like, no. This ain't it. Like, you can do exactly what you're doing without paying them that to do it. And so again, I started doing my own research, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm good. But in my mind, I'm like, I also don't want to, like, I was working in Jersey at the time. I'm like, I don't want to get on the phone and call people. I'm in education. I talk all day long. I repeat myself all day long. I don't want to do that. Of course, there's other ways. So honestly, it just depends on who you are. Like, I don't always want to be social. Yes, that is the company. I don't always feel like talking. So it's just like, damn, I don't want to do that. So now what I do, because social media is social media, right? I have wholesalers who be like, look, can you sell this house for me? So I'm already wholesaling a wholesale deal. They like, people listen to you, or people this, or whatever. Or guess what? The people that's following me is not necessarily the people that's following that wholesaler. Doesn't mean that they don't have a good deal. But yeah, I'll sell your house all day long. That's what you want me to do. And I didn't do anything. I didn't do nothing. They reached out to me. Can you sell this house for me? They get a check. I get a check. Somebody get a house. Somebody else get the money. Like, it works. The other thing that we have to do when it come down to this game, and I hate when I see it, is that now, since a lot of people are in it, some people feel like, oh, that's my competition. No, like, we can all get to the same bag together. All of it together. That's what all the other, thank you so much. That's what all of the other companies are doing anyway. They not fighting about how many things you own or this contracting company. They not doing none of that. They gonna get their money regardless. And if we're doing the same exact thing, like, there's that Uptown studio, if you in Philly, that Uptown thing, it was like a movie theater or something like that. I always rode past that my whole entire life. It's on Broad in between Susquehanna and Dolphin or something like that. Anyway, that has always been there. I don't know who owns it. Sometimes the lights is on, sometimes the lights is off. Who knows? It is so many buildings. Even the Lorraine Divine, that hotel, so many different places here in Philly is abandoned. It's a building right on Broad and Erie. Huge. Abandoned. So many abandoned buildings. All these people out here with all of this money. You know how many people, even if 50 people went in, I went past this one building, I think they wanted $250,000. You know how much that building could bring in more than $250 in a year. So think about $250 to purchase. Like, come on, that's not $250,000 is not a lot of money when you have a group of people with at least $10,000, $15,000, or however it is. Even if you have people that's putting in $500, like, what we have to do and understand, we have to practice and learn group economics. That's the problem. That's the real problem. It's not that we just don't know we don't know community. We don't really want to work together. Yes, I actually did think about investing in Atlanta. And so when it came down to me investing in Atlanta, I was going to do houses for around the universities so that I can rent to college students. And so let me tell you, that was my whole plan. That's my plan still in Baltimore. And so I need to get out so y'all can see some light, something. I don't know. But so when I got the first couple properties that I got in Baltimore, my whole plan was to rent, and still is, to rent to college students. And so with that, right, I talked to this one lady. I had met this lady, and that's the other thing. I meet people anywhere. Instagram, Facebook, whatever. So I met this one lady on Facebook. She was in this one group. And so she was telling me about 501c3s and nonprofits. So I was like, all right, cool, And she was like, well, why don't you open up one? And I was like, well, open up a nonprofit for what? And she was like, well, you said you wanted to do housing for college students, right? So I was like, yeah. So she was like, well, this is what you can do. Get your grant writer, right? Think about how much money you need. Get your grant writer. You get the grant writer. Let's say I need $200,000. And so the grant writer is going to put this whole grant together and tell them why I need $200,000. That can be to pay a bookkeeper, to purchase a property, to renovate the property, all of that. And that comes from the government. That's it. Like, you don't do anything. That's a grant from the government. Free money. And so all you have to do every year is make sure that you qualify for the $200,000 or more. Because that's the thing. If you don't use the money, you lose the money. Think about it. Schools get grants all the time, right? And so when they do pay cuts or whatever, or they can't keep up with the government funding because kids are transferring to schools. They're no longer going to that school no more. They're going to another school. Or they doing this, or they moving or whatever. So that they got to make up for that. Like, where are we going to get this money from? So I think it's a super, super great investment. And just because I see somebody said the AUC is saturated with investors, I don't believe in oversaturated markets. When you go inside of the actual market, in the supermarket, in the store, guess what? You're going to see 10 different brands of bread. And on any given day, guess what? Somebody going to buy each and every one of them. And sometimes you go on the market, there is no bread. Because everything sells. So I don't care about how many investors is where and where they at. That don't mean that you can't invest there either. Why I get denied for a $20,000 limit with a 757 credit score? I think it's because I'm young. Yes, Tamir. It's because you're young and you don't have time. So what that means is, right, like if you 18, you just started, you probably just got your first credit card. So what you need to do, you need to get on somebody's trade line. You need to get on somebody's trade line, have somebody make you an authorized user, somebody who has time on their credit. So they got a credit card that they might have for 3 years. Hopefully you can get somebody with one who has their credit card for 5 or more years. Because that'll be absolutely great for you. So yeah, get on a trade line. Exactly. When this pandemic happened, they had their favorite brand, but it wasn't. Exactly. Same thing with tissue. Everybody, I only use Scott. Well, why is there no great value tissue in Walmart? For all these people who only use Scott? Why is there no great value tissue in the aisle? I don't see it. So you gotta think about that. Like, don't think, it's so many people in this, so many people in that, so many people in the stock market too. That's where the money is. The money is invested in other businesses. That's it. That bread is always going to sell. Somebody always going to sell a house. Somebody's always going to need to rent somewhere. Something is always going to happen. Yeah, that's not enough. You need more years. Get on somebody's trade line. Not even knowing that all these brands are owned by, and that's the other thing too. All these brands are definitely owned under one company. How you think these people getting all this money? Scott ain't only just making Scott tissue. That's not what they do. Scott don't make that. They gotta make it for everybody. They gotta make it for everybody. They gotta make something that everybody can afford. You know how much money they get? Think about Starbucks. Think about who make the Starbucks cups and all of that. Because it's Starbucks, the coffee might be $1. But because it's Starbucks, they can charge you $3. Because it's a brand. It could be the same cup. Well, once you put that little green thing on there, that lady, it's over. You already up. You already up. So you really got to think about that. You really got to think about that. When you are, investing in any type of way. Make sure you're thinking about all of those things. All those things. Train lines especially, but they'll give you, and they will give you $100,000 in student loans. That's the sad part. Don't give me no And that's the other thing too. Like, anybody who know me know that I love will give my all to the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. Right? I don't mind paying those loans back because it's HBCU. But my loans that I got from Drexel, and not even just that, like, everything that I'm talking about right now, I didn't learn in college. I didn't learn in high school. I didn't learn none of this. None of it. The things that will make me money, I didn't learn any of it until I then already got a master's. Thank you. You too. And tell your daughter I said hi. She's so cute. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Yes, Clark Atlanta. All that. Always. Finding a way or making one. That's literally all I'm doing. I'm finding a way and making one. Period. All legal ways, too. All legal ways. But for this time, if y'all have no questions, I'm about to hop off this live and get to going. I'm in the trenches, relax. I love Lil Durk. That's my song. Alright, guys. I'm gonna blow this hot dog stand. Y'all have a good one and be safe.